What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If it is your first time joining us here in the dorm room, my name is Layton and welcome to the channel. Today we have a very exciting video for you guys, breaking down the first official teaser trailer for James Gunn's Superman film. Like many other people, I have been anticipating this trailer for a while now, and I can't wait to break it down for you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The trailer opens up in a snowy biome where we see Superman crashing out of the sky and hitting the ground pretty hard. As the cloud of snow from the impact slowly dissipates, we zoom in on our first look at David Corenswet in the Superman suit for the trailer. Although the suit is looking excellent and very vibrant in this scene, we can obviously tell that Superman is very beat up as his face is cut up and he is wheezing pretty hard. One thing I really love about this scene in particular, and I know that James Gunn did this on purpose, is the contrast between the color of his suit, the blood on his face, and the snow beneath him. While Superman continues to wheeze in the background audio of the trailer, we flash to our first look at David Corenswet playing Clark Kent. This scene follows Clark as he awkwardly pushes his way through a crowd of people, and David Corenswet is killing the mannerisms as Clark Kent. We watch as Clark approaches the front door of the Daily Planet, where we see a police officer beside him with a fun little Easter egg of him reading a newspaper with the headline, "Hammer of Barivia creates havoc downtown," referencing a location from the comics. We flash back to the moment that Superman was laying in the snow, zooming in closer to his face, where James Gunn really makes us make eye connection with David Corenswet so we can feel the emotion that Superman's feeling in this scene. The screen turns to black as we get this amazing guitar cover of the 2025 theme for Superman, flashing us into our first look at the Daily Planet. During these shots, we first see a hectic view of Clark Kent walking through the Daily Planet. We flash to our first look at Lois Lane, and next we get a look at Jimmy Olsen. And before moving on, I just want to take a second to appreciate how good of a casting these two characters were of Jimmy and Lois, because these guys look like you ripped them straight out of the comics. Following our first look at these two characters, we get a brief interaction between Lois and Clark, where we can see David Corenswet really playing that nerdy, goofy character very well here. Next, we get a few different shots at the Kent family farm, where we see our first look at Jonathan Kent, played by Pruitt Taylor Vince, who you may know from The Walking Dead. To me, this scene looks like they're having some type of deep conversation where Jonathan Kent is most likely going to be giving some life advice to Clark. And the moment everybody has been waiting for, we get our first official look at Krypto the Superdog in the trailer. Again, we cut back to Superman laying in the snow, where he whistles this time, and we see this huge cloud of snow arising. And this was the moment in the trailer we all were waiting for, our first look at Krypto the Superdog. Krypto approaches Superman, jumping with excitement with his own little red cape, where we get our only dialogue from the entire trailer. This dialogue consists of Superman telling Krypto, he says, "Home? Take me home," whereas Krypto grabs the cape of Superman and pulls him away, likely to the Fortress of Solitude. The music starts to get louder, the trailer starts to speed up on its pacing, showing us first this scene of Superman saving a little girl from this giant monster that we'll see later in the trailer. To me, this scene right here is just a great representation of how different James Gunn's Superman is going to be from Zack Snyder's, showing us again that Superman is supposed to be a symbol of hope that represents the best of us. We see our first look at Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult in this movie, followed by our first look at Luthor Corp. The shot of Lex is quick, but it shows Superman flying behind outside the window, where Lex turns around and uses an earpiece to likely alert somebody else. Now, this shot of Luthor Corp really piques my interest strictly because of the name that they gave it. The only other time that Luthor Corp was used was in the television show Smallville, where Lex Luthor's dad actually was the owner of the corporation instead of Lex. So, with that in mind, I'm wondering if Lex Luthor's dad is going to be a part of this plot, where we see Lex try to rise in the ranks of the corporation. The trailer next gives us another shot of Lex Luthor, this time looking at something holding a revolver and kind of looking like he's about to do something, but he might regret it, so he's holding back. I could be wrong, but let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this moment. Following that moment, we see Superman punching out of a glass box, which looks to be at the same set from the previous shot. Following those two shots, we get another great look at how differently James Gunn is treating Superman and how he's really embodying that he is a symbol of hope. We see a young boy where there are some explosions behind him, holding up this flag with the Superman logo at the top and just praying that Superman comes to help them. Superman approaches a building with an unhappy crowd of people throwing various items at him, which the building is later shown to be Stag Industries. This scene looks to be following a fight that Superman may have had where some destruction was caused or lives may have been lost, and the crowd is just really thinking it's all Superman's fault. Superman stands angry with himself in the lobby of Stag Industries, where we get our first look of Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl entering the trailer. Guy Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion, uses his Green Lantern Corps ring to blast up a blocker so the people outside cannot see what's happening in. We get a quick glimpse of Hawkgirl in action flying, looking great, followed by a shot of Superman fighting that kaiju-looking monster that I mentioned previously in the video. And this shot of Superman fighting the giant monster explains the various burn marks from other shots in the trailer, as we see Superman in the direct path of the monster's fire breath. We begin to hear a crowd chanting Superman over and over, as we see a couple different shots of Lois and Superman, one of them kissing, and then one with the green and purple energy blast in the background that was featured in the promo image to show us our first look at the Superman suit. The next shot I want to touch on is this shot of Superman kneeling down beside this disassembled robot, which of course is Kelex. Forgive me if I said that wrong, but this shot to me really hits hard because Kelex is really the only thing Superman has to remember his world goodbye, and right here we can see that robot is no longer going to be with us. Next, the trailer gives us our first quick look at the Fortress of Solitude, looking excellent, followed by our first look at Metamorpho, who will be played in this film and the DC Universe by Anthony Carrigan. A few buildings topple over, which presumably could be the reason Superman was so disappointed with himself at Stag Industries, followed by another look, this time close up, at Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult. This scene right here I can already tell is very well done by Nicholas Hoult because he is just expressing that hatred for Superman so well in this little quick shot we see of him close up. The trailer starts to really speed up and shows us quick glimpses of shots from previously in the trailers until we get to this shot of Superman fighting Ultraman and also our first looks at Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is looking awesome and very comic accurate, probably the most comic accurate suit I've seen out of any film in the last couple years. And the fight between Superman and Ultraman takes place in the Metropolis Meteors baseball stadium, which is yet another nod and Easter egg to the comics. The trailer starts to wrap up as we see Superman blast off for flight, reminding me personally of a lot of the Top Gun flight scenes. This is very cool because James Gunn took a lot of inspiration from the Top Gun movies, and I think he really captured that flight scene perfectly here. The trailer ends again in that shot from the teaser image of the suit, where Lois is holding the arm of Superman, and then they hug, flashing us to the date the movie releases, July 11th. That is unfortunately all I have for you guys regarding the breakdown. However, I want to quickly share my personal opinion on this trailer as I was really anticipating the release of it. Now, James Gunn had a lot of pressure on his back releasing this trailer as he is starting up the new DCU in competition with Marvel, and I think James Gunn delivered here. I mean, personally, I have never been the biggest Superman fan, and I've always liked Marvel more than DC, but damn, this trailer really captured what Superman is supposed to be, and honestly really has me hyped for this movie. Some of my favorite moments from this trailer have to be just David Corenswet as Superman and Clark in general. He captures the vision of who Clark and Superman both are meant to be very well. Next, I would say the color grading. Although some fans have been complaining about it, I think James did an excellent job with the color grading just to set this kind of vibe for us to look forward to. Next, I would have to say all of the teases of the other characters. James Gunn has said it before, he is coming into the DCU with this kind of already established universe instead of telling backstory after backstory. And the last thing I'll mention, but definitely not the last thing I enjoyed about the trailer, has to be these moments where Superman is just showing how much of a human he is despite being an alien. These shots include when he's saving the little girl or when he's walking through the crowd of people and they're all throwing stuff at him. These moments to me just really ground Superman and show us how he is this very powerful being that's from another planet, yet he is devoting his life to helping humanity because he was raised like a human from his father and mother on Earth. But to sum things up, I am just ecstatic to see this movie next year, and I just don't want to wait until July 11th. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. What did you think of the Superman trailer, and how excited are you for this film next year? I want to thank all of you for checking out this video and checking out the channel. If you are interested in more content like this, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.